Simon from simonwood.com. I'm in the southern Rhone today, and I've got two appellations which are, well, top of the tree in the southern Rhone. Chateauneuf du Pape. Level below, this is where we are now. Gigondas is probably apprentice to the Chateauneuf. It is the pretender to Chateauneuf du Pape, and then Vacqueyras following close behind. So I've got two Gigondases and I've got three Vacqueyras, anyway, whatever. And the way I've organised them, I've got a 2008. So I'm going to start with that one, and then the 2009s organised in alcohol order. So we've got everything from 13.5% up to a whopping 15%. But let's do the 2008 first. Gigondas, Tesco's own label, and give it a whirl. There's a nice soft briar spice-like character here. It's like freshness of fruitcake, size of a chaffinch, that type of thing. There is this juiciness and yeah, warm plummy berry, and that edge of ever so slight edge of raisin, but not going into the over-the-top over-ripeness. Feels like there's going to be a bit of freshness in there, and there's this lovely herbiness undercutting everything. And when you taste it, that herby freshness comes through really strongly. And when I say freshness, it feels like a wine that is drinking pretty well now. It's certainly got a few years ahead of it if people want to keep it. But it doesn't feel like there's anything that needs to be resolved. If there is tannin there, it is ripe tannin, and it's holding it all together. There's this bit of fresh acidity, and there's this herbiness. But then you just get this warm bear hug type of character coming through. And pretty tasty, and bully for Tesco for putting a wine like that under their own label. Okay, so three Vacqueyras next, and first one, Domaine de la Soléiade, and all the remaining four are 2009. So Vacqueyras, Famille Aubray Gi. Don't know very much about this, but it's from the ever enterprising theatre of wine, so I'm expecting good stuff. And it certainly smells pretty decent. There's this savoury, almost tomato-like edge, undercutting and yeah, backing up this this quite meaty fruitiness. And yeah, it feels like there's it's at once fresher but bigger than the Tesco one. This is a wine that feels like it's got a really quite promising future, but probably not in my glass. Let's better taste it first. It's got tar, it's got licorice, it's got this spice, and it's got this herbiness going on. I don't know what sort of vessels it's been aged in. I don't know notice any new oak overwhelmingness, but there's a freshness about it that it doesn't feel like it's been anywhere that has dampened down any of the bounciness of the fruit. So it's a vigorous, young. Yeah, it's got a bit of the hairy chestedness. I remember someone in I think it was Barolo describing saying that. That's where they measure their manliness, by how far the hairs stick between the buttons of your shirt. And this is a quite a hairy-chested, maybe a few too many buttons open type of wine, but really enjoyable. Although I know hairy chests aren't for everybody. Hey, let's try the next one. Marks & Spencer's, Domaine de la Curnière, Vacqueyras 2009. So we are up to 14.5% alcohol here. Well, I don't know whether the one before has blown away my nostril capabilities, but can't smell all that much here. It smells like there's a bit of warm tomato, herby freshness there, but doesn't feel like it's going to jump out of the glass and say, "Hello, I'm friendly, drink me." Maybe it just needs time to unwind. When you taste it, it still feels like there's quite a bit of it that's not coming out to play. But you get this licorice, you get this earthiness, herby spice. It's almost like there's the main dish, and you can taste all the spices and things that have been used in its preparation, but you can't taste the main slab of meat, as it were. I've got a feeling that will uncurl and get better with the longer it's open. At the moment, it just feels I can feel more and more flavours coming through in my mouth, but it just feels like work in progress. The one before was open and friendly, but had great potential. This one feels like, yeah, a bit stubborn today, but I'll keep an eye on that. Hey, let's try the next Vacqueyras, Domaine de la Verde. Domaine de la Verde, it said, depuis 5 générations, blah blah blah, families show our wines won gold medals as far back as 1905. The strange thing about it is, I don't, maybe Domaine de la Verde did win medals back in 1905. It's not clear from the back label whether all the grapes that are in here are from Domaine de la Verde, because the wine is made by the Scali organisation, Cave Saint-Pierre. So it may be that they're just using the name, but far be it from me to say that anyone would slap a label, a name on a wine, and it doesn't come from that particular domain. This also feels a little bit dumb. I'm getting warm herbiness again, this quite rich alcoholic cherry fruitcake warmth, but again it feels like the core of the wine needs to open up. No surprise, I mean 2009 is 18 months ago for, well no, a bit more than 18 months ago now, is less than 2 years ago for these two wines. So no surprise that if it is a big fleshy wine, big full-bodied wine, that it will need a little bit of time after it's been bottled to recover, come back to its senses and show its true colours. Let's give it a taste. Rich, warm, grunty wine. It's a bit more. It's showing a bit more today than the M&S one, and yeah, I mean, I don't find the freshness and class that maybe I was finding in the Domaine de la Soléiade. But I do find it a really honest, friendly, juicy. I mean, it's a really warm day at the end of July here. It's the perfect wine for about 6 months from now, where it's the middle of winter. But I'm tasting these wines because I'm writing something that is going to be in a winterish magazine. So maybe not the perfect time to taste them, but it is a hearty wine, and yes, again, I was talking before about hairy chestedness. This is a hairy chested, slightly. It's got a few scars. This wine, and yes, it's been around the block, and it's come back and it's survived, and it's all the stronger for it. I prefer this to the Marks and Spencer's one at the moment. The Marks and Spencer's one may climb out of its shell, but this one feels to me I have a bit more vibrancy of fruit and yes, spice. There's this. It's a nice mix between the raisins, the black currants, and the dark berries. Let's try the final one. We're back on Gigondas now. Domaine Notre de Pallières, 2009, weighing in at 15% alcohol. This is rich, dark, savoury wine, and as with the Marks and Spencer's one, I've got a feeling that this is a wine that really needs to blossom. What I'm getting at the moment is this warm, herby tomato, again, those dark berries, spice, the real classic Garrigue characters, this herby undercurrent, and but I notice minerality here. I notice like almost like an iron edge. And I don't know whether there's iron in the soil in Gigondas, but there's certainly life beyond fruit here. Bit of a brooding brute, that. Too alcoholic? I'm not sure. When you open wines like this, one of the first things that you notice with big wines is you notice the impact of ripeness and alcohol. What I often find is that if you then give them time, they calm down, and you'll get again, what I call the life beyond fruit coming through, life beyond immediate impact. And so whereas at the moment this is, yes, I notice the alcohol, I notice the ripeness, I don't notice any awkward character from either of them. Neither of them seems to be like trying to over dominate the wine, but they are there, and the actual flavours from the grapes and from the soil are just maybe thinking, right, okay, come on, give me a chance. Problem is, too many people would open that, swig it in the next hour or so. I've got a feeling that this is like 3 or 4 hour wine. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow this is showing much better than it is now. Feels like yes, it's showing its yeah, it's trying to strut, it's showing off rather than showing its more cerebral side. Have another taste. And that's really rather good. Actually, I thought all 5 had quite a lot to say. Some of them were saying it better than the others. Some of them will need a little time to come out their shell and maybe shouting louder tomorrow than they are today. But I don't know whether they'll get the chance. Actually, they probably will get the chance. It's a warm July evening. I'm going to a barbecue. I'll want to drink white wine or beer. I've got a strong feeling that there'll probably be as much left in these bottles tomorrow as there is now. But I may be proved wrong. Hey, see you soon.